weird thing. I just love that kind of advice. Like, if you want to be a millionaire, just make $1 million.
Isurus Gaming, as an Argentinian esports organization, is a rugby country, and they are one of the world's best countries at rugby. They would know what I'm talking about. They right now have to believe that we're going to focus on our sport. And the Akali is banned. That is another thing that I believe the analysts were saying they wanted as well.
Yeah, there it is, gone off the table. Getting rid of the Graves. The Ornn, surprisingly, against ADD, they did play that a fair amount. It's most played this year by a mile.
Significant, more than double. 14 games of Ornn, 7 games of Null.
Yeah, so understandable that they want to get that one off the table. The Maokai priority continues to rise. Aatrox's priority has risen to ban status, at least in this game.
You know what I love? Do you know what I love? In the previous game, the Maokai was not the difference maker for Wildcats against RNG. Reddit armchair analysts in shambles. We get to see it again this time around.
Hey, it ain't so. Quick shot
against DRX.
The Garen hover by Kingpin right after the previous Garen game. Last second swap to Sejuani, giving a shout out there to the boys. Not going to go for it though.
A lot of respect.
Cowards.
I do want to mention just again that Isurus Gaming, the way in which they lost their Teemo game earlier to RNG is heartbreaking. This is the second game of the day for them, and it's against DRX. You could not have had a more difficult day for any team in play-ins than what Isurus is having right now. And yes, they do have a hometown crowd in front of them, but one could argue that adds even more pressure to have those players in their home city.
Yeah, they were showing family before. Saya's family, for example, was on broadcast yesterday a little bit. The team will cover themselves from Grail. DRX obviously taking the game very seriously still. They want to find these wins. We're talking a lot about Group B stakes, all the situations that can break out. So they are, sticking with tried and true right now. MF, one of the strongest. 80 carries, Sejuani as well. Aphelios coming in. Love to see it.
What do you think about it into the MF thus far? And Saya, if he locks in the Sazia, I mean, this is now fairly clear in my eyes. Don't lose early, which means you cannot concede the early deaths you did against RNG. And there is a lot of scaling on this side already.
Yeah, they're kind of flipping the script completely. Last time they tried a bunch of cheesy solo lane picks and trying to flip the game early. Did not work out in their favor. Here they're going the other way, taking some of the most stable, strongest scaling matchups that they can. No surprise to see. Oh, actually, that is a surprise. It's a Yone coming in.
Okay, so Yone secured here. I'm taking a quick look through history. As far as I can see on Zeka, no games played this year. Taking a look at the top lane as well. Yeah, I actually cannot see Yone for anyone in DRX this year.
No, but I assume it's a Zeka champion just because a lot of people talk about how strong he is on melee champions. We saw his Akali, absolutely disgusting. I presume he has a Yasuo, has a Yone, has all these things that he can play if needed.
How many professional games does Zeka have on Yone?
On Yone? 1.
Do you think he won it?
No.
My word, what an analyst, Mark.
I like how you're shaking your head and holding fingers up.
Don't spoil the magic.
That's what I do. If I was a magician, I'd be the guy revealing all the tricks on YouTube.
The Penn and Teller.
Selfishly.
Penn and Teller's bullshit. Here we go. Presented by Mark Zimmerman, breaking it down. Look, the only reason I love to look historically, not only is there no games played this year, the only games I could play, he did lose. This is not the expectation of, like, I'm not trying to be facetious in terms of this. It's just a fun fact to look back at. What I am nervous about is Yone is one of those champions that is an accelerator. MF is very, very good in the early stages of the game as well. So for a team like Isurus that needs time, that wants to not get bullied, beaten up, and like chased, the composition DRX will bring together can get in their face.
It absolutely can, especially combined with the Sejuani. Assuming that they find another, they will probably save counter pick for top lane, but I presume it's probably going to be a melee matchup given that you already have Sejuani. And so you're going to have these double melee solo lanes for them to use, stack up those Sejuani stacks, get a lot of chain ganks and skirmishes around the top side. And Yone himself, a strong matchup into the Azir. Once you get a couple levels, you can just kind of pop your W, dash at him, trade the autos, pop back, and usually come out ahead.
And again, the two bans here in phase 2 with Amumu and TK, two of the sort of primary, sort of arguably best supports with Aphelios, two champions that will buy you time, will give you the ability to disengage and back away.
Reposition you if needed.
Flay, exactly. All of the tools that Isurus would have needed to get to that 2-3 item mark. They will be locking in this Viego, so expecting Viego jungle. Do you go Maokai support? Am I reading this wrong? What do you think?
I assume that means the Maokai is support. Could still be top lane as well. Maokai, Viego in lane, probably not the case, but it could be. We have seen Maokai top once this tournament, I believe, so far already. I think we saw one support, one whole bunch of jungles. But, you know, I think that this is a little surprising to see the Viego in this situation just because I feel like Viego is at his best in kind of messy game states where you're trying to come flying in. There's a lot of kills, a lot of souls to steal, and that is not really in line with the Isurus draft so far. And that was kind of actually my biggest complaint previously about their other draft. While it was very crazy with the Sion mid and stuff, it just felt like there was not something for the Sion mid to explicitly do because Teemo often wants to be isolated in the lane, building this kind of minefield around him. Sometimes the Isurus drafts leave me wondering exactly what angle they're trying to take.
Now, talk about the DRX draft. They've round the name, the word, it just makes me
I think of Genshin Impact.
Okay, I don't know that game, so we'll have to slide on because Beryl, Pioshik, and Deft are stepping forward. Won't be able to find any of the CC. They will find on the second bandage toss, but this is enough to push Grell away from red buff. Jelly comes forward. It is still secured by Pioshik, and he gets the flash from Grell. Grell is now caught in place. A third bandage toss is thrown. 150, 10, first blood to Grandma Beryl. And DRX will turn it around. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, I don't think dying level one is...
That was not the intention.
Yeah, here I was a little surprised to see Beryl just throw that bandage toss out immediately. I thought he was going to maybe take a second to line it up as we see some skirmishing picture. Here, he lands the second one just to be like, look, I can land this.
And the next one as well, I believe.
Yeah, this flash forward, though, is just such a strange commitment to me because even if you get that, you're still 2v1 here, stacking them up. There's that third bandage toss coming through, like you said. Grell just...
Very excitable, obviously, for the hometown players. Grell will find the route, the engage, headbutt, pulverize, down to 150. Zach is burning, but I don't think he'll die.
Pressure. I appreciate the Isurus Gaming's bot lane trying to salvage all these situations, playing aggressively after the invade went bad.
Oh, that's
this
a
might be too aggressive.
Pioshik's right here. Bandage toss will find the target. Defensive flash away from Gavoto. Cleanse is available to him and just used. Here comes Grell. A two-man knocker from the pulverize will not be enough to save Gavoto's life. And Jelly down to 200, 100. Below that, and Deft secures the kill. Another 2 for DRX. The timing on that Hex Flash could not have been more unlucky.
Yeah, just no vision to know that Pioshik was coming into the river right there.
Experience first towers. I think they get first dragons and second, 80-odd% of the games. And the engage will come in. That's a kill onto Grell. Jelly gets caught up by the bandage toss. Beryl lined up the first, he lined up the second. No access. That sad mummy and those chakrams are flying slowly back to Gavoto, but DRX, they get their kill, they extend that gold lead a little further. I think it's...
out, they're both ready to go.
I think, like, arguably as well, some small advantages to hiding how an individual player plays an individual champion to some degree, as well as allowing that jungler to pay attention, watch closely some of their opponents. Not 100% certain whether DRX are going to win this group, but you anticipate it to be the case. That is going to be the kill secured on behalf of ADD, taking down Beryl, now at the cost of Grell's life. Jelly's going to be the target for Zaka, secures the kill. 2 members of Isurus are down. Pioshik's trying to prevent the blast going, but he can't do it just yet. 100 HP as ADD's forced to flash for his life. Now Gavoto's the next target. Flash available to him. He gets underneath his inner turret. Won't be able to find enough damage for the kill. Here comes Zaka. Soul unbound. Will not be able to get the damage back underneath the tower. Not going to be able to find...
They want to insta-give him before he get his ultimate off here. So you see Jelly going to channel this Hex Flash, get right on top of him. I believe is going to get a knock-up. And then they try to get Seiya's ultimate on top as well. This like 100-0 combo, but Beryl critically is able to get his ult off there. I believe that's his ult that he got. Maybe not actually, not the case. I think I got trolled by Sejuani ultimate looking similar to me. But the fact that you're killing Beryl is not the critical target necessarily, so you have Deft free hitting from the entire time on the backside. You don't really even have King in there. You have, of course, when you put him on situations like a Sion to try and have really big impact that doesn't speak to a lot of his strengths.
Yeah, unfortunately, and this time round, they're marginally behind CS plus 20 in favor of Zeka. The kill secured onto Gavoto. It's just trying to turn this one around. Emperor's Divide is on cooldown. The re-engage from Zeka finds it. Jelly's got no unbreakable will available to him, so he drops to 3 members secured. Zeka's going to step backwards. That Fate unsealed on cooldown as well. The tower's being focused. The plates are being...
Seiya starts shuffling in to find that kill. Here, ADD getting a little aggressive. He's actually going to win this.
Get it! The healing from Silas brought him right back in. Zeka's chasing, hunting, killed a bird, and he does for the solo in the Smith. Cloud Dragons have been killed at Worlds so far.
Gaboto apparently got solo killed.
Yes, he did. There we go. Double up. Dunk, dunk. Get dunked. That was happening while we were watching this fight down the middle. Yeah.
Very scrappy game. There's that ultimate by Beryl I was talking about. Right as Seiya came flying in, locked him up so he couldn't get any auto attacks in with the soldiers that he was following. Allowed Zeka to get in there and start finding those kills as well.
I'm not leaning you away from my quick stats quiz. How many
look, there's another solo kill. We gotta talk about this one. Hey, now look, Zeka's gonna die for that too.
He will die indeed.
We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this.
6,500 gold up. They were able to secure themselves one of those Cloud Drakes, which is what I've been trying to get you to predict it. DRX going to look for another tower. They've got 3. 2 in the middle lane, 1 in the bottom lane, looking to take another. This will be the 4th versus champion if executed to, the way their intention. Zeka does get jumped on right now, stays alive, soul unbound, gets him to safety inside the pit. The shield has popped up, and ADD joins the fray. The Nature's Grass is thrown down. Kingen re-engages, finds the chains, the lockdown, the hold. Curse of the Sad Mummy still available. Curse of the Sad Bullet Time still available. Waiting for it to be fired out. Nobody's died just yet. Bioshik's the next target. 1 for 1. Gaboto flashes in for that, but it's a double for Deft. Can he dunk anymore? 2 more secured for DRX, and Gavoto's running for his life.
Isurus Gaming try to contest the second Rift Herald. They actually have a decent start to that fight, kiting out the ultimate from Kingen when he was Alistar'd up. Waited for that timeout, then tried to find that re-engage. But like we said, so much gold behind. If you could get that fight at the goal differences we were just talking about, yes, you can maybe win that fight.
You are in my head, Mark, because I go back to that Hex Flash engage from earlier, that little bit of impatience that puts them a little further behind. Now, not the only reason, but again, here's that great fight once more.
Yeah, the fact that they go in, they have Zeka low early on the fight, so he can't quite dominate the way he wants to. Kingen goes in there, he's like, I got my Alistar ult, I can buy space for this. Isurus reset the fight, they kite it out, ADD providing frontline to make sure that Seiya is safe, and now, obviously, DRX wants to finish off the Rift Herald, but that keeps him around, so you get this flash re-engage here. And you might have been able to win this fight if you just had more items completed, that you were a little closer in goal, but Beryl stalls this fight out nicely with the flash re-engage. Gaboto gets that 1 kill here. I think there's miscommunication between him and Seiya. Seiya wants to go flash, engage Deft, and push him towards Gaboto for Gaboto to kill, but he had already backed out.
Yeah, Gaboto 1-4-2. He's just been awesome. And with that Baron buff now, DRX can continue to play. They can even look to play the side lanes. And there is going to be a setup. The bullet time is firing over Seiya. Forced to flash to safety. Stays alive thanks to the heal for now. And actually escapes. But for how long? The double up. Deft manages to make it work. The hijacked Nature's Grasp does more than what ADD could do in the pit. And DRX are looking to shut the coffin on ISG's worlds.
DRX respond to the play in the mid lane from Isurus. Beryl again with the quick ultimate, locking up Seiya for the bullet time, and from there was an easy chase down, finding all those kills, dropping Shelly in the mid lane with Baron. Trevor, I'm smelling a dancing Herald.
No ways, no ways, no ways. Will the Rift Herald dance? Charge is coming in, 3,000. Shelly and Gaboto stepping forward. Shelly is running low, 1,700.
Don't do it, Grell. Don't you?
Shelly dies. Shelly dies. So do the playoff hopes for Isurus. DRX are hunting. Picking up sharks where they can. Kingen is trying to keep Deft up as well. Stepping for the Nexus is being focused by Beryl. The Sad Mummy head-butting away. As all of a sudden, that's a Deft going golden thanks to the Hourglass. Baron Empowered minions doing work. Another for Kingen. At this point, it's bullying. They're dead already as Isurus Gaming are eliminated from playoffs. DRX